Hi guys, welcome to my channel. I am back with video number 3 and this third one is going to be a fall makeup look. I've got my fall leafy printy kind of top on today. I am feeling autumnal and ready for it. So I thought I would go in with a kind of foresty greeny kind of look because I did do bronze last and that would be my kind of fall thing. Probably my everyday. So I decided I'd go in with green. I don't really do green very often, but it does look good with red hair, it looks good with brown eyes, it looks good with blue eyes, it looks good with everything. So we've gone a little bit grungy today. So keep watching and I hope you like it. Okay, so we are going to start off with a little bit of coconut water spray, which I like to do just to hydrate my face a little bit before we start. Let me give it a little spritz. I'm feeling super dry today, so it needs a little bit of hydration. And then I'm also going to prime my skin with the Nivea Post Shave Balm. Weird, I know, but if people have watched before, as I've explained, there's glycerin in the shave balm, so that is a really good sticking agent, so it helps to keep my makeup in place all day long. So I did my brows off camera because it's quite boring, but I will be doing a tutorial, in-depth tutorial of how I do them soon. And I've just carved them out with the Anastasia cream contour. I like to use that because it's just a little bit stronger because it's a cream, it's a little bit thicker, so it carves them out nicely. And then I go in with Tarte Shape Tape, just on the eyelids because it's a little bit softer, so it's not too harsh. And I'm just going to pop that on the eyelids, like so, and then just blend that in with the cream contour at the same time. And then I just like to take a little bit of loose powder and just tap that on the brows, on the eyelid, sorry, a bit of powder. Because if you don't do that, then you'll find when you're trying to blend shadows in, it's quite sticky. So just a little bit of powder over there, not too much, doesn't look too cakey, just to get those eyelids primed and ready for all the eyeshadows we're going to use. So first up, for a transition colour, I'm going to go in with Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie, and I'm going to take that on my MAC fluffy brush. Wish I could read what the number is. 224 blending brush. I'm just going to pop that in the crease of the eye, just as a nice light transition colour. Just so we'll put more colours in, it blends nicely. So just backwards and forwards. And then just light little circles just to blend that onto the lid. Next up, I'm going to go in with this kind of burnt orange colour from the Morphe 35C palette, and I'm just going to take that on the MAC 21. No, I can see the number. Hold on. What does that say? It's faded. 217 brush. So I'm just going to take that on my 217 brush, tap off the excess. I'm just going to pop that in the crease of the eye. And we just want to be a little bit more precise with that. Starting at the outer corner, backs and forwards, and then when we've got literally no product left on the brush, just taking that onto the inner corner of the eye as well. Backs and forwards, backs and forwards. And then going to take my fluffy brush again from MAC, the 224, and I'm just going to, with no product on it, I'm just going to circular motions, just blend those two colours in together. Then we're going to go in with the, it's like a forest green kind of colour on the 35C, just there. I'm going to pop that again on the MAC 217. Tapping off any excess, and we're just going to put that on the outer portion of the eye. So starting from the outer corner, laying it down onto the actual lid itself. And then again, when there's not much product left, just popping that just a bit higher up into the crease. And bringing it sort of 1/3 of the way over onto the eye, just backwards and forwards, so we get that nice and tightly into the crease. We really don't want to take that too high into the other transition colours. We just want that to define the crease. So just backwards and forwards. And then little circular motions just in the corner, just so that the outer corner, should I say, just so that blends out nicely. We're then going to grab the 224 again and grab some of that peach smoothie that we started with. If I can find it. Moved it. Just tap that excess off, and then we just want to place that just over the top of that forest green. Backwards and forwards, just so that blends nicely in. To the transition colours. Just taking that on the outside. Next up, I'm going to use this kind of greeny, bronzy kind of colour here. It's in the 35F, the Fall into Frost Morphe palette. I'm going to pop a little bit of that on my MAC 212. Pop a little bit on, and as normal, a bit of setting spray as well, just to help that pigment come out a little bit more. And I'm going to pop that on the lid. Now that I've got that in place, I'm going to take some more of that forest green from the original palette, 35C, on my my MAC. God, numbers are driving me up the wall. 224. I can't remember them. And I am literally going to take that from where we had it in the outer portion all the way over, just so it covers over the top of where we put that frosted colour, just so it all blends in. So keeping it really low into the crease. Right in the crease there, just so it blends that frosted colour. I don't really like to put a frosted colour right into the crease. And taking the fluffy brush and getting the peach smoothie and just blending that all together again. Really lightly with a real light hand. You don't have to go too heavy on this at all. Because we don't want to move too much of that dark green around. You don't want it to come too high up on the lid. Now, eyeliner is completely up to you. I am just going to pop a little bit just on the lid. I like to when I'm putting lashes on. I just find it blends in better. But you can do a wing. You can do nothing at all. You can do a bit of shadow. So I'm literally just going to take a little bit of black gel liner using the iStudio Lasting Drama in black. That's just on my lid. So I'm just going to pop that on the lash line. Okay, so just a plain simple line. Just going to pop some falsies on and I shall be right back. Okay, so lashes done. I am now going to move on to the face. I am actually going to use the NYX Liquid Illuminator Born to Glow today. Been using it a while. Don't use it every day because I don't like too much product on my face, but actually for this kind of look and for the way my face is at the moment, it could do with just a little bit of brightening up. So I'm going to do this in a few colours. I'm yet to try them all. This is probably actually better for fairer skinned. They do like more of a bronzied one as well, so I will try that out next. So I'm just going to pop that just on the areas that need a little bit more of a dewy kind of glow. So I'm going to pop that on first, and then I'm going to go in with some foundation. I have changed my foundation recently, and I am now doing the Urban Decay All Nighter. Love it. Yes, Total Match, True Match, and Total Cover are amazing. Just kind of love this a little bit more. So we're going to do that today. So this is probably a little bit too dark for me because I haven't faked hand in ages, and I kind of bought it more of my kind of tanned colour. So we'll see how we go. Might have to use a bit of neck blending today. So we're just going to pop that on the face with my Real Techniques Beauty Blender. Real Techniques Blender. It's actually not too bad colour-wise. Not as pasty as I thought. So we're just going to blend that into the face. And remember to tap, not rub. Don't smear, just tap so it presses it right into the skin. Otherwise you get those really nice streaky marks all over your face. And I find this one really easy just to kind of work with, to blend with, and you don't need much for a real full coverage. It's the only problem I find with some of the drugstore ones. You maybe need to use a little bit more product to get a full coverage, but I mean there's really not much in it. There's really not much in this with the mix of my L'Oreal True Match and Total Cover that I usually use. There's not much in it. This just seems a little bit easier to blend. So I'm going to move on to my concealer. I'm using my normal Tarte Shape Tape in light to medium. I don't put any foundation under my eyes because I find just a bit too much product. It gets a bit cakey for me. I'm getting old. So I leave that bit blank. So I'm just going to pop a little bit under the eyes. A lot. And also on my nose and Cupid's bow, chin, and my 3 little random lines in between my head, forehead, between my brows, that area. And then I'm going to use again the damp Real Techniques blender. It's not a beauty blender, it's a blender. I'm going to use this. And I'm just going to use that to press in the product. I like to do it everywhere first and then move on to my eyes at the end. I find leaving them to the concealer to set into my eyes a little bit longer gives it a better coverage. I always have to use a mirror to do this. I always have to look up every time. Still don't know why. Can't do it any other way. So again, same as foundation, press, don't smear. Press that right into the skin rather than moving it around and giving yourself weird little marks. Press. I like this blender more than the Beauty Blender because I like the shape of it. It's got this, let me see it, this harsh line. Whereas the Beauty Blender's a bit more rounded, which is great for the bounciness of it. But in terms of like getting right into your under eye, I find this one's a little bit more precise. But we all have our favourites. I do own a Beauty Blender, just I'm more for powders rather than concealers for me. Okay, so now it's all blended in. I'm just going to take a little bit of loose translucent powder. I'm using the RCMA. No colour, no colour powder. And I'm just going to press that into my under eyes to start with. And it doesn't matter if you put a bit too much on. I like to let whatever's there sit anyway, and then I can brush it off afterwards. Same again on the other eye. And then I like to go over the other areas that I've also concealed, so around my nose, up to my forehead, in between the brows, around my Cupid's bow and my chin. And then I like to take a larger, fluffier brush. This is a Beauty Bee brush from Superdrug, and just take a little bit extra and press that in rather than swirling it around. I'm all about the pressing rather than the swirling. Press that in, and then afterwards, once that's pressed in, just fluff off any excess. Fluff off any excess. I'm then going to go in with my bronzer. I'm using the Bourjois. No, I don't know if it's, I think this is their medium one. Why is it not telling me? Why? Is this one anyway? I'm using the medium. I'm just going to pop that on another Beauty Bee brush. Beauty Bee? Yes. And I'm just going to pop that on the areas that the sun will hit. So I love this for bronze because it's nice and big and fluffy. And you don't need to be too precise with bronzer like you do your contour. So it's quite nice to get in all those areas. I'm really sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of give it more of an airbrush look rather than beige bronzer. Same on the other side. And you can be sloppy with it because we can always clean it up afterwards with a little bit of translucent powder. So it's not the end of the world. I like to put a little bit under my chin and under my nose as well. So I'm going to use my Barry M Chisel Cheeks, and I am going to use my Spectrum CO3 brush. Amazing. And just take a little bit of that colour there, and just very gently just bringing the brush from sort of halfway and then just up into the hairline really, really lightly. I really don't want a heavy contour. I just want to chisel my cheeks out a little bit more. Again, halfway and then just upwards, little light flicks, just so that blends into your bronzer. Again, I'm going to go under my ridge-shaped nose, like so. I am then going to do just a little bit of contour on my nose as well. Just going to take a fluffy brush, any fluffy brush will do. That MAC one used earlier, no product on. Just a little bit, just pop that down the side of your nose. Really, really gently, so you haven't got a really obvious line. And the same again on the other side, just on the tip of my nose as well, because I've got a really pointy nose. I don't like it. I'm going to go on to bronzer, and I'm going to use my favourite, my NYX Baked Blush in Solstice. So it's like a bronzy kind of tone with a little bit, ever so slightly, it's like a baked blush. So I think I probably already said that. So I find it just gives more of a, like a highlighty kind of glow almost, but in a bronzer on your cheeks. So because I really don't want too much because I've got quite heavy eyes. So starting from the apples, like the contour, but starting at the apples and just really lightly flicking that up. And I'm using my Spectrum CO4 brush, just an angled brush there. Again, the same on the other side. So starting at the apples and just flicking upwards, just to blend that in the bronzer. I'm not a huge blusher person, but just a little bit of something just to round out the face a little bit more. Like contouring, it's always good. Then next on to highlight, I'm going to go in with a Nui. I'm going to go in with the Makeup Revolution. It's a blush palette, but they're highlighters, so it's like a baked blush, but on a smaller brush you can get a really nice highlight to your skin without it being too obvious. So I'm going to go in with the kind of bronzy kind of tone one here, baked one. Just a little bit of that on my Real Techniques brush. And just literally add a little bit there. And then go over it with the white as well. Like so. Same thing on the other side. I just like to flick things upwards. So I start my cheekbone and I just flick upwards. So, and I'm just going to take the whitey kind of colour and I'm just going to put that on my Cupid's Bay and on my nose as well. Like so. So I'm now going to go in with my setting spray. I'm going to use the Barry M Matte Finish setting spray. I think I prefer the dewy one, but this is the only one I've got left at the moment, so I'm going to go with this. So I'm going to give myself a quick spray. Fan that out just for a minute or so, just so that sets into the skin really nicely. And we are going to move on to lips. So for lips, I'm going to use the Barry M Matte Me Up, and it's in the shade Go To. So we've got a lot going on the eyes, so I didn't want to go, I contemplated red. I've kind of got like a pinky orangey kind of colour on my top, so no. So I'm going to go in with like a, this is a nudie brown. Mauvey brown, nudie, mauvey brown. I love this because it feels so light on your lips, you literally don't know you're wearing it, but it lasts forever. Blush like that. Happy ain't going. So next on to the under eyes, I'm going to pretty much mirror what I did on the top portion, but I'm not going to use the shimmery kind of colour under my eyes because I'm just not really feeling that under. So we're going to stick to the matte colours. So I'm going to go in with that forest green colour that we originally had. I'm just going to pop that with a small definer brush, Morphe G28. press that right into the lash line. Then I'm going to take that burnt orange colour and I'm going to take that on a pencil brush. It's I've got the MAC 219, so we're just going to take that and we're just going to pop that under the eye and we're just going to blend that in a little bit. And then I'm going to take the Peach Smoothie on my Sigma E45 brush and I'm just going to take that a little bit lower just to blend that all out completely. I'm just going to line my waterline with Bourjois 16 Hour Ultra Black. I'm also going to line my upper line as well. Last but not least, I'm going to line my bottom lashes. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Volume Million mascara. I'm just going to put that on the bottom lashes. And here it is, the finished look. So this is my full makeup for 2017. It's now my 3rd video, so we are getting there slowly but surely. I'm thinking next we're probably going to do some sort of Halloween makeup look, something, a skeleton of some sort with lots of glitter. So keep looking out for the next video and I'll see you all soon. Bye. Stop saying like so.